Welcome to No Brains, No Headache Podcast, episode 246. We're back here in the studio after a hell of a weekend, and we are excited to record yet another one of this mindlessly entertaining show coming to you live from Bismarck, North Dakota. I'll be your host today, Jordan Weichel. As always, happy to be here. Damn glad to do so. Across from me, my confidant, fellow comedian, longtime friend, co-host of the show. It's the one and only Matt Cleary. Matt, it's so good to see you. Welcome back, buddy. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I did what you did last week. I'm so hungover.
Yeah, we are in our 30s now, and I think it's just one per decade, meaning it's one day to recover per decade. We're going to get to our 40s. It's going to be a 4-day recovery.
50s, you're literally dead.
I think 50s, you actually reset. Once you hit 50, your body is just so used to like waking up at like 4:45 every day.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
And you just pop right up. I still have the ability to sleep in from time to time.
So I went and got some cold medicine today because I came down with a little bit of cold. I'll get to that later.
Great.
And can we stop pretending that these are healthy and good cough drops? It's candy. That's all it is.
All right, we got the Luden's Wild Cherry. Oral. Okay, a lozenge. Let's just go with that before I get too deep into it.
It's candy.
Let's see here. Corn syrup. Blue number 2, red number 40.
You've yet to say something that's in medicine that is not in candy.
Yeah, I don't. They say if you have like other symptoms, like consult a doctor. They got sugar-free wild cherry, watermelon, honey lemon. And you just got the normal wild cherry. 30 throat drops.
Yeah, but it's weird because these are $2.99 for 30, similar to how expensive candy is. Actual cough drops are like $12 for 60.
Yeah. Well, I think we need to get back into our sauna routine. We need to build up the immune system. You know, it's the time of the year. We're recording on April 28th. The show will be out April 29th, Tuesday morning. So I hope that the cold season is over with. How have we not figured out a cure for the common cold? What's going on with that? How is it that we still keep getting sick with this cold that we call? Is it constantly changing? I'm not a scientist.
I don't know. It's just, my whole sinuses. So I was in Chicago.
How much blow did you do?
Oh, it feels like a lot. And honestly, there was one night that kind of got away from me. I don't know what happened, but some things could have happened. So I'll give a little rundown. Me, Bertie Mac, and my sister went to Chicago to catch a couple Cubs-Phillies game. I go pick up Bertie Mac at about noon to go to the airport. We take a fireball shooter. Go have a couple airport beers.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah.
My new policy, I don't even drink until I'm at my destination.
And then I really didn't drink until we got there. So I was basically just
hungover already.
Yeah, not really, but it was a good amount where I was kind of feeling frisky, and then got on a plane. Got something happened with the flight attendant. Don't want to talk about it. But so we get to Chicago, go get some beers there, call it an early night, go down. Embassy Suites, though, the place to be. Free continental breakfast, happy hour.
Okay. What does the happy hour consist of?
You get like 2 free drinks, and they got like some
peanuts and stuff.
Yeah, they had some like chips and dip and hummus.
Ooh,
yeah.
How did you try the hummus? Are you on the hummus?
No, I got there and it was infested with Asians, so you could not get to the food table. And
son of a bitch.
They didn't really go after the drinks though. But so we go to the first game, wake up, hit the continental breakfast, don't eat anything, of course, just get some coffee. Go back up to the room, and Big Mac's like, I don't drink coffee, but I do drink this, and just cracks a Coors Light at 9 a.m. And I was like, I can't let you drink alone. So I'm There I am.
It's vacation.
Yeah, I'm drinking a Coors Light and a coffee at 9 a.m., knowing that this is no good for anyone involved. We get up to the game, and we go to a restaurant that we have vodka lemonades, and like a rain delay happens, so that's good for no one because we just kept drinking cheaper beers than what are on the inside.
Yeah, I was working that day, and I was watching it closely because it was 1:20, right?
Yeah.
Game. And so I'm notorious for just like missing the first pitch, but I was like, oh, we got the fellas there. I want to listen to the game as I'm doing a little bit of work. So I tune in, and it's just like elevator music, and they're kind of just like replaying the same thing. And I'm like, oh, maybe they're just, national anthems wrapping up. Because I didn't know. I wasn't on any social media. I wasn't texting you guys. I didn't know what the weather was. I listened/watched that elevator music and like just general like landing page, if you will, for a good 10 minutes. So then I finally got back to my place. I ate some lunch, and I was watching something else. Something else grabbed my attention. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe the Cubs game is on now. And then finally I got the information that it was in a delay. So I texted our group message. I said, what the fuck is going on? Bertie Mac took that as, I'm just wondering what you guys are up to, because he's messaged back and was like, oh, just having some beers. And I was like, no, that's great. Good for you guys. I meant, what's going on with the game? I didn't know. I said, is it raining or is there a terrorist attack? Because that's really the two options.
Pretty much. But so got just fucking obliterated that first game. And then we head back to, really nailed that one. We head back to go find some food. So we head back downtown.
And
there's this Italian restaurant right by the hotel that I really like. So like, oh, let's go in there. And my sister was like, I'll find us a table. And I was like, I'm going to run to the bathroom quick. So I go, and this is inconveniently placed bathroom.
My name is Jeff.
It's upstairs, and I have to walk through a private party of everyone dressed in like suits and tuxedos.
And then there's you.
And wearing a light blue Cubs jerseys. And I walk through, and I go into the bathroom and just fucking blow up the toilet. And I come out, and my sister's like, yeah, they don't have a table for us. So I was like, cool, we'll go somewhere else.
Oh my God.
So I'm thinking about it. I went into this nice Italian restaurant, took a shit, and then left.
I mean, that's the American way.
And then we went and got some of the best tacos I ever had. We went to that taco place that you and I went to where we just got like margs.
I was so obliterated. I mean, I know which one you're talking about, but I was already a few sheets to the wind at that point. I do remember it. Was that the one where there was just like, there was bachelorette party after bachelorette party after bachelorette party?
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on right now?
There wasn't that this time, but we got some tacos, best tacos I've ever had. I thought it would help kind of soak up the booze. I was wrong. Woke up, maybe the most hungover I've ever been in my entire life. I was like, I think I'm actually sick because I was like sweating, had like a fever. I'm like, I think I might actually be sick. And like noon rolls around, got to get going to the game. I'm like,
turns out it was just the heroin withdrawal.
Yeah, I don't know what I did getting home from the game last night, but it wasn't anything good. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hop in the shower quick. Come out. I bought this THC drink that I'm like, I'm gonna have a little bit of this, make me feel better. So I have that.
It's no bong. It's for my schlong.
And we get on the train, ride it like 25 minutes up to Wrigleyville. I get off the train, and it's like one of those things where a guy like steps out into the sunlight and he's like, oh, this world's so great. That was me just stoned off my ass. We get off, and I'm like, what fucking country are we in? I'm like, they were like, okay, let's go. We go to this bar called Rizzo's.
Did your companions know that you were just donkey brained at this point?
Yes. And we go to Rizzo's, and we're sitting there, and like I come to find after the fact, like, yeah, Matt, you kind of zoned out. You just kind of stared at the table, not even at your phone. You just looked at the table and like trying to comprehend things at that point. Like we ordered a giant pretzel that, I'm not kidding you,
I saw a picture. It looked pretty sweet. I love me a good pretzel.
It was huge, and it was good.
Yeah, I mean, Matt, if you're going to do an edible or THC of any form, that's going to help boost the appetite. That's why I got to be careful. Now that I am off of the marijuana products, My tolerance shot. So if I'm doing an edible, 2 things. Clear the schedule.
Lock the doors.
Lock 3 things. Clear the schedule. Lock the door. Make sure I got some food ready because I know I'm getting the munchies.
Yeah, but I don't have any tolerance for it because I think I had like a 5 milligrams, and I was just I didn't really come out of it till like the 5th inning of that game, and by that point the Cubs were down 10-2.
Yeah,
and the guy behind me, probably the drunkest human being I've ever seen in my entire life.
We tend to have a tendency to do that.
He goes to the guy next to him. He's like, "We really got to break this tie. We were down 10-2." And another thing that happened was we're in the hotel room right about to leave, and I'm looking at his jacket. I'm like, "Do you think I'm going to need my jacket?" Sister just goes, "No." It was the coldest it was 49 degrees.
It was colder in Chicago than it was in Bismarck.
With like a 21 mile per hour wind into my face. So I bought an $85 sweatshirt at the game, which was cool.
How's the credit card statement going to look?
Not great. And the worst part about it is I went into the store freaking baloneyed right now. And I'm like, just need a sweatshirt. And then I'm trying to get one, and I'm short, so I'm trying to get one off the top. And I knock like a whole row of sweatshirts off this stand. And I like have the one in my hand that I went to grab, and like all the other 8 are just laying on the ground. And I just
walk up to the counter.
I just slowly got in line. I'm like, wow, who knocked over all the sweatshirts?
A homeless guy threw a baseball at his face. How did a homeless guy get a baseball?
Yeah, it was, and like and some lady in the Cubs store had lost her phone and is just walking around like beeping it on her watch, and I can just hear her phone beeping, but she can't find it. And I'm like, at this point,
Did you think you had a brain tumor?
Kind of. I was like, she's like, I can't find my phone. And I was like, I think someone literally stole it and it's in their purse, and they're just like hanging out here. She just kept walking around and kept pinging different locations. I was like, do I get in on this search?
If I was there and she kept doing that, I would have been like,
Enough! Do you want my head to explode?
that would have been me.
I was like, lady, some of us ingested something before coming in here. I cannot deal with this right now.
Yeah, see, I'm going to go ahead. I mean, you do you. That's completely your prerogative. But at this stage, I would have just loaded up on grain alcohol. A little rage juice. You really get the blood flowing. I don't want to come down. I want to go up.
See, here's my thinking, though. I knew that we had to wake up at 3:30 in the morning the next day.
Brutal.
And I knew that if I drank again, I was going to be doubly hungover because that's science.
Did you not drink?
No, not really. That second day, maybe I had 1 or 2 beers.
I don't like that.
But I had an awesome time.
I would have switched the flight schedule around a little bit.
Oh,
I'm tired of taking the early flights.
I will say
I avoid that at all costs.
I will say, though, getting back at like 10 a.m. here and having all of Sunday to be a world-class piece of shit.
I knew you were, because I didn't hear from you all day. I was gossiping about you to other people, our mutual friends. I was like, Matt's dead right now. I haven't heard from him all day.
I tried to watch the Oklahoma City bombing documentary 3 times and just kept falling asleep. I would like put it on and it'd be like,
did you get a Domino's pizza?
I got a Papa John's pizza like late at night, and then I really didn't eat like any of it. It's still up in my fridge, and that's gonna be fun tonight. Yeah, it was nice to have all of Sunday to kind of recover.
Yeah,
but yeah, love Chicago. Got some Uno's pizza, deep dish.
Did you and McKeon have to share a bed and cuddle?
No, we had a big ass hotel room.
Nice.
Had 2 rooms, a fridge, where it turns out it was set to freezer mode, so all of our beers exploded the second day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, you got to check that. Well, I'm glad you guys had a good time in Chicago. You ready to get into the episode?
Yep.
Okay. Let's party.
All right. In true No Brains, No Headache fashion, first 15 minutes was just a little housekeeping, but we're here for episode 246. Is this just a continuation? I feel like this is a continuation of the Chicago.
No, Subway came out with nachos.
Oh, the sandwich company. I thought you were. I thought you were about to tell us a story.
I did eat nachos off the Subway floor, but I mean that's completely different.
Okay, Subway came out with nachos, huh?
Yeah, and I don't like it. They are infringing on poor man's nachos.
I heard somebody call them poverty nachos, and I just didn't like that.
So just go to images.
Images for the Subway nachos.
Essentially what they do is they take a bag of Doritos, nacho cheese Doritos, and they put them in a flute looking thing, and then you choose your toppings going down the line.
Fucking internet work around here, Jesus Christ.
Well, I know is whenever you go on the internet, it just chops up the audio and makes my life hell.
Does it? I haven't noticed that.
Because I edit all of it on the video.
Sounds great.
I'll show you great.
Why I can't do an internet search while we're recording a podcast?
It's mainly the ones that have like a bunch of those ads, like that one that had like the fucking fat chick on it that was like, oh, I need to get skinny.
Okay, I would agree with your statement. These look like shit.
Yeah, they don't look good. And it's like...
This one, it looks like Doritos, cheese, onions, and jalapenos, which it's getting dangerously close to poor man's nachos. If you call them poverty nachos, just go ahead and unfollow. No brains, no headache right now.
But yeah, it kind of pissed me off. It's like, well, one, I've thought of this before, like a Subway style restaurant where you get like a plate of nachos, but then it's just Qdoba at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like it very much. It looks terrible. I kind of want to try it, one, but two, I want to see like what you can get away with. Be like, can I get a whole
the prices? It didn't look like.
Can I get a whole chicken breast on my nachos?
It didn't look like very good. Oh, the internet already knows what I'm searching. Subway's foot-long nachos are priced at $5.
Oh, actually, that's not bad.
I bet you get about $2.17 worth of food.
Featuring nacho cheese,
flavored chips, cheddar cheese sauce, shredded Monterey cheddar cheese.
Oh, so I don't even think you get to pick out your...
You can also add rotisserie-style chicken or steak at no extra cost.
I'm going to have to do some research on this, and by that I mean get it for lunch soon.
Well, here we are talking about food again. And I am debating what I'm going to have for dinner after
Like, it
this.
just looks terrible in anything that's not an ad for it.
Even the ad doesn't look great, Matt, is what I'm saying. See, this is juiced up. Okay, this is an advertisement. It looks like, hey, this foot-long boat, we'll call it, this little cardboard boat that we're going to put these nachos in, it looks nice and beefy and stacked up, and like you're going to have like a bunch of chips. Now we go down here. This looks sad.
Yeah.
It looks like a, I don't know, like a snack size bag of chips, you know, the smaller ones. It looks like that's all you really get for the chips.
Look at that one on the bottom left. Like, it has the guac in the middle and all the chips just...
Well, it's clearly fake.
Yeah. And then right below it is just fucking diarrhea on a boat.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, see? And that's what I don't like about these chains. Look at this one. Disgusting. Look at this. It just doesn't look great.
This is going to be one of those things that, like... Do you remember 20 years ago when Subway tried to have nachos? It's
I
like
don't
when
like it.
McDonald's has like pizza, or like they've always had one of those weird things that McDonald's does.
I'm against it. You know, I'm pretty much anti-corporate America. I did have, I was kind of, how do you say, a huge piece of shit there for like a little bit. I think I had McDonald's, like, I did have it twice in one day.
That's not bad.
I was hungover. Hey, 8 days off the sauce right now. Don't touch me. You have a cold.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so there's that. I was relieved that you actually went to Chicago for a weekend, because my two friends that I consume alcohol with the most were gone, and it was a nice relief.
We consumed enough for all three of us.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't have any FOMO. I wasn't jealous. I was like, yes, get them out of here. I think I was in bed by 11 p.m. both Friday and Saturday evening, which was nice. I mean, I had to crank the hog till about 1 to 2, just fall asleep. But
oh, yeah, you went to bed at 10 p.m. I was on my phone for about 4 hours. I slept pretty terribly, actually.
I was up at the lake cabin one of the nights. Oh man, I'm so excited to live there. I had some of the best sleep that I've ever gotten. In my room, I have this shade that just completely
Blacks it out.
Oh man, and it's so quiet. It's so quiet and peaceful. When I woke up, I was like, "Where am I?" First of all, second of all, I have no idea what time it is.
It's pretty easy to find out when you're in Chicago because there's just sirens going off at all hours of the night.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't do well. I wouldn't do well there in the city. Maybe I would eventually get used to it, but
people say it's like white noise, but never mind.
It's like, I've been a rich man and a poor man. I choose rich every time. I've lived in a city and I lived in, a peaceful, quiet place, and I choose the peaceful, quiet place every time.
I've slept like shit and I've slept well, and I choose to sleep well every time.
I mean, it's true. It's a very, very important. You need a lozenge.
Yeah, you should try one of these.
I'm good. I got a sugar-free soda here, so does it smell good? Now we need to get back on our sauna grind. We need to beef up the immune system.
Oh, tastes like just when I was like 5
We got
years
a big
old.
summer coming up. By that I mean not a whole lot planned. Yeah. We're just the only thing that we have coming up is a party.
Yeah, we got a wedding the week after that.
Oh, where's your wedding at?
Omaha.
Japan.
Yep.
Nice, going international.
My cousin is actually marrying a Japanese girl.
And it's in Omaha?
Mm-hmm.
Hi. Right on. Well, that should be fun. Yeah, weddings are coming up. I think I also have a wedding that weekend too, but it's in, I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's called Bismarck. Yeah.
Is that the one across from Mandan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Mandan, better than Bismarck, some say.
My name is Jeff.
Damn it, that was the wrong one. All right, is it my turn on?
Yeah, I have a lot of regrets of what just happened.
All right, well, Matt's gonna go change his shorts, and
oh God,
yeah, Matt, we are entering into it's such a nice time of the year. The weather is turning. It's beautiful out. We got sunshine. The grass is getting green. There's leaves are coming on the trees again. And I'm loving it. I got to say the mood is just fantastic. I'm ready to have the best summer of my life is what I'm trying to say. And that's rare when, a man who's 31 years old can be like, I'm about to have the best summer of my life. It's like, oh, I'm going to summer camp, or
this sounds a lot like a teenage movie. Like, we're gonna have the best summer ever.
Like American Pie 2.
Yeah, I bought the shack at the local swimming pool, and we're gonna sell ice cream out of it.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, college students. It's like, all right, it's summer before senior year.
We're gonna rent a beach house in some rundown town where
American Pie 2. You keep on redescribing American Pie 2. But to get it started off, since you were out of town and I wanted something to do, I decided to go on the longest hike of my life, and that's not an exaggeration. It was damn near a half marathon. I ended up hiking 12.21 miles in 4.5 hours.
Did you plan it out, or you were just like?
Yeah, see, I got this question from somebody else as well the day before I went.
I'm assuming you planned it out, because if you didn't, I feel like you'd be dead. But Jordan fell off a cliff dead.
Well, here's a fun fact about the Bismarck Mandan area and North Dakota in general. It turns out that hiking or being an outdoorsman or just some of these activities, they're almost non-existent in this area. There's like no place to hike. I have this handy dandy app called All Trails, right? And you can just kind of type in an area or a town or a city, what have you. See, and it'll show you all of these trails in the area. I guess this one's pretty decent, but most of them it's like easy 2.8 miles. Easy, 3.9 miles. Easy, 3.9, 2.7, 1.9, 0.2. Estimated 4 minutes.
Where's that walking to? Like,
This is in Mandan. It's called On a Slant Village. It's an out and back. Your elevation gain is 13 feet. Estimated time is 4 minutes, and it's 0.2 miles. I'm pretty sure you just go check out the Earth Lodges at Fort Lincoln State Park.
Why is that on there?
Okay.
I lost so much credibility for this app.
The point being, I was like, okay, I want to go for like a really long hike on an actual trail. Obviously, I can just hike from like North Bismarck to South Bismarck if I really wanted to just stretch the legs and go out. So I bit the bullet because, us North Dakotans, we like to hang our hat on this place called Medora. And I didn't go to Medora. I avoided it at all costs like the plague. But what I ended up doing was I planned this ahead of time. I looked up some places to hike, and I found this one. They give you some pictures. This one just looks really nice. Oh, those are my pictures. Like, this is in the fall time. There's beautiful foliage, like really nice views. This is out in the Badlands. You kind of got some rolling hills, some buttes,
Where'd you drive to get?
So it was a 2.5 hour drive from Bismarck. I had to go past Dickinson. I stopped in Dickinson at the old grocery store to get some food because, it was such a long hike that I wanted to. I mean, I could have just starved the whole time, but
that sucked.
According to my All Trails, it says that I burned 2,308 calories during this 4.5 hour hike. So I stopped at the grocery store in Dickinson. I got a sandwich, an apple, an energy drink. I brought 2 different bottles of water. I had a whole pack on me full of sunscreen. People would be happy that I brought sunscreen. Still managed to just get a touch.
Still managed to just get roasted.
No, it was nice out, but yeah. And then after Dickinson, it was another 55 minutes. It was south of the interstate, south of Medora. Anybody can find this. It was a hike at Coal Creek to Plumley Draw, if anybody's really interested in it. But it does say Medora, North Dakota. But I was south. I didn't enter into the Teddy Roosevelt State Park, so I didn't have to pay. That was also huge for me. Not that I'm against that, but it was just
So was it a loop back to your car? Or?
No, this was an out and back, so that was my route right there. So I started at a campground. It was interesting when I showed up. There was 3 different active campgrounds of people. I thought I was a little surprised to see that, just because I figured. I mean, it was a beautiful weekend, but I don't know. I just thought that maybe it was a little too early for anybody to be camping. Also, they said no campfires, and I've had this discussion before with fellow like-minded people. To me, having a campfire kind of makes the whole camping. What do you do when it gets dark? Do you just you go into your tent and stare at it, maybe bang it out, I guess, but hang it and bang it, I don't know.
So they say burn bans, no campfires. What it really should be is no stupid people can have campfires.
Well, there are fire pits at this campgrounds. I just think right now, the board or whatever, that when you enter and sign into the campground just says no campfires at this time. I don't know. It's raining today. I say it's beautiful out as we just had just a rainy overcast day. But one thing, I was headed out there, so I planned ahead. I woke up at 6 a.m. on Sunday morning, got showered, and I had to hit the road. I was all gassed up, ready to go. And I knew this was going to take quite some time. In total, it was 5 hours. I paused my app while I sat and had lunch at about my halfway point. But I was yeah, this is going to take some time. 2.5 hour drive there, 2.5 hour back. This is a 10-hour day minimum, it's looking like. But that's what I wanted. I wanted to set a new personal record. My longest hike prior to this was exactly 10 miles. I did it around the lake. And I remember coming close back to my lake, and I kind of had to do a little inlet because I was I'm not going to make 10 miles.
I'm going to go to the mailbox and back. And
I pretty much did that. And it was 10.02 miles I hit. And so that was the longest one I've ever done.
So did you get a ride to your car then?
No, so I went out and back. So I started somewhere.
Okay.
I hike pretty much to the end of, because this trail was 11.1, so like to the end of the trail was 5.55. So I literally set my backpack down, and then I walked until I saw 6, and then turned right around because I knew I was going back to my backpack.
Yep.
And then that's when I took a break and had lunch. But, you know, I was preparing, and out in western North Dakota, you know, in Medora, you know, what are they known for out there? There's a lot of wildlife, right? Like, a couple of people asked me if I saw a bison, which is a fair question, but I was like, okay, I wasn't in the state park. Yeah. And I think they frown upon just letting bison, like that's just not a thing anymore.
They're all in it's like wild horses. They're all in like...
Yes, they are within a park. And I don't think they want people just hiking out and about, you know, just to see what's up. But I said, you know what? There's some reviews for this, right? I said, you know, I should probably just read the reviews, make sure, you know, there's no surprises.
Is it like the Bridges reviews?
So, I mean, it was cool. This 7 months ago, Beth said, evening trail ride was awesome. 7 months ago, Victoria said, went just over 2.5 miles out and back on Plumley. Conditions are good, although parts of the trail are better suited for bikers. Whatever, quit being a little bitch. Then I get to this one. And I'm driving out there. So, yes, I'm on my phone and driving. Fucking sue me. 10 months ago, David says, be mindful of rattlers. Been here twice, and both times nearly stepped on one. So I'm driving out there. First of all, I'm deathly afraid of snakes. Like, that's... Like, my biggest fear, probably snakes. I'll just say it. Like, I don't like them. Even when I'm hiking around Bismarck or wherever, even if I see a little garter snake go across, I'm like, oh! Get him! Like, it's like in Almost Heroes when they see the squirrel. They
He's got something in his hands!
They all just start blasting away with their guns. It's kind of the reaction I get. And mind you, I'm by myself. I am 2.5 hours from home, about an hour from like the biggest city, Dickinson. I don't know what service is like. My beloved mother, thank you to her for even looking after me. I told them that I was going on this hike, and she said, well, please let me know where you're at. So I sent her the link to like, okay, here's the trail that I'm doing, and I also sent her my location. I said, just in case anything goes wrong, you know where I'm at the very least. She's going to have a real tough time when I move on the other side of the country. But maybe I'll have somebody there be my safety team. But David, be mindful of rattlers. Been here twice and both times nearly stepped on one. So I go to Google. I start looking up North Dakota rattlesnakes, just kind of getting a feel for them. I had what to do if you're bitten by a rattlesnake. Found out that there hasn't been a death in North Dakota due to a rattlesnake bite since 1915. So on the way there, I was like, great.
Down a bit.
I can't wait to be the statistic 110 years later.
It's like Oil Can Jackson right next to Jordan Weichel. They're like, back in 1915, they're just like, we don't like that guy, so we'll let him die.
Yeah, and so I don't know, I didn't want to I didn't want to fuck up. I just wanted to enjoy my day, and you know, I was shooting for 12 miles. I was like, 12 miles is my bare minimum. I'm gonna go. It's gonna take some time. So yeah, I get out there, and I'm kind of going through the very start, and I think I startled some of the campers because the trail went like right next to their campsite, and good morning. Hey, how are you? Top of the morning to you. Is that sausage I smell? You got any extra?
You just do the flip out of a camper chair and sit down and be like, what do we got going this morning?
But I figured since we were near the campground, I'm like, okay, we don't really need to worry about rattlesnakes. But, I mean, about a half mile in, I'm on my own. I'm like, this is rattler country.
No wonder it took you so long. You're probably like pins and needles.
I did pretty well. If you look at my splits, I have this thing happen where as I walk, I get faster, which you'd think the opposite would happen. You start getting tired out. But there's like a walker's high, similar to a runner's high, because I was just walking on sunshine. And for the first half, it was still overcast. I was actually wearing the same jacket, and it was like perfect because it wasn't chilly. It was just like a little brisk, you could say. So when it's overcast and I wasn't wearing my sunglasses, like I could see very well what's going on in front of me. And then I'm also assuming that snakes, when it's like not very nice out, they're probably just not as active, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, their snakes are hiding from you. It's like they're not going to be on the trail.
But you don't know that.
I do.
What rattlesnakes do is they coil up and they stand their ground, and then they do their little
So here's what you do. If you see one on the trail 15 feet ahead of you, you take a little circle off.
I know, Matt, but yes, that's what I was going to say, is that's what I was doing. Like, I wasn't even enjoying the view. I wasn't, like, there could have been, like, a chick with huge, perfect fake cans off in the distance just been like, woo! And I would have not had any idea because I did like 2 to 3 feet
First
from my
off,
truck.
liar.
Okay, well, yo.
How'd you get bit by a rattlesnake? Well, this chick's cans. Like, just out of nowhere, I fell into a rattlesnake pit.
That would be rough.
They bit my throbbing cock.
This took a turn.
Yeah. My cousin got bit by a rattlesnake.
Is that a lie?
No, he was like 5 years old in Tucson.
Oh, really?
But it was like an adult one who didn't have, like, as they get older, they just don't have venom anymore.
Yeah, if you get bit by like a baby rattlesnake,
yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah, you better get the priest there to say their final rites, because
I think
the priest won't get there in time. He'll be dead.
Yeah. Your eyes will be like bloodshot blue. I'm going off what I've seen in movies, and I don't think it was a snake bite, but they're like kind of freeze. They foam from the mouth. They turn like blue. And I'm actually just thinking of Joffrey dying in Game of Thrones is what I'm doing.
I think what happens with rattlesnake venom, do not quote me here. Do not, what Matt and I are saying right now, not quotable.
So if you get bit by a rattlesnake, here's what's going to happen to you. Euphoria.
This is also no brains, no headache. I think we like need to never forget that.
You're going to end up at a bar in Wrigleyville trying to comprehend how this pretzel got so big.
I think that's what happens when you do THC products. But if you get bit by a rattlesnake, once again, don't quote me here, I'm pretty sure their venom thickens your blood as if it's like cement. So it just kind of stops flowing, if you will.
So are you telling me a vampire couldn't get rattlesnake poisoning?
Why not?
Because they don't have blood.
They don't?
No.
Did I forget about
Vampires? Yeah. I think what you need to be worried about out on the trail is vampires. Like, if it gets a little overcast and they're out during the day, you're dead.
Yes, this is true. They can't be hit by the
They
sun.
like to hunt in those type of areas too. So, you won't catch me out there because vampires.
Well,
or actual physically walking that much makes me mentally exhausted thinking about it. And physically.
Well, the first like mile and a half, yes, I was pretty paranoid. I was still walking at a decent pace, but I was just like constantly examining.
Head on a swivel.
Yes. Oh my goodness, was I? As I got into it, and like there's certain parts where there's like not as tall of grass, or like you can just see like the barren prairie land in front of you. Or it's like, okay, if there's a snake, I'll be able to very clearly see it. So yeah, I went on, I zoned out also, but I did download 2 podcasts, didn't listen to a single second of podcasting or music. Because I was like, okay, if I hear a rattler, I kind of want to be aware of that. 5 hours of allowing me just to think about life.
Yeah. How many times did you think about walking
Suicide?
off?
What?
Yeah, I was going to say walking off the cliff you like walked by. Staying at Embassy Suites, you're staying at all in, and every time I walked, like looking down 9 stories and be like, could you imagine?
It sounds like you and I had very same, but different weekends.
Yeah. Pretty close, but I thought when you said you downloaded, I thought you downloaded like 2 movies and you're just watching, just watching Pineapple Express hiking on a trail.
No, I didn't listen to any.
How do you have sex 3.5 times? I don't know. I was drunk. I dunked a ball and.
No, I just got into my zone and I was walking and, I had a lot of time to think. I was thinking about the podcast,
That's depressing.
Yeah, that part was depressing.
Once I got through that, it was a lot better.
Then I switched over to thinking about my love life. Also depressing as
Equally,
shit.
if not more depressing than the podcast.
Yeah. Then I started thinking about other things, like what am I going to do with my life? Still really depressing. It was just a depressing 5 hours, you could say.
Then I thought about the Culvers I was going to eat on the way home. Now we're back to a walking high.
Yeah, but I got to my halfway point, and then it was really nice. The sun finally came out. It was so beautiful out. I was sweat. Like, I didn't take into account like how much I was going to be sweating. Sweat just right through my clothes. I had to hang them out to dry on the bench like while I ate my lunch, and I had to wear this because I just didn't want to be shirtless. And I saw one person the whole time.
Huge cans.
It was a dude on a bike, so maybe.
Yeah.
But then so I started, the second half, the walk back, and it's sunny out now, and I have my shades on, and I'm like, these fucking snakes are gonna be out here. They're gonna get some sun because it's nice and warm out. It was like
That's
mid
not
to
what
high.
snakes do.
It was mid to high 60s, man. It wasn't like 110 degrees where they're hiding. But there was a lot of shadows, is what I'm saying.
Okay,
so
yeah.
there was a mile.
So the snake that's under a nice cold rock where he's happy goes, you know what? I'm going to go out onto this trail underneath
And
this
bite
shadow.
Jordan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's what he's thinking.
If I was a snake, that's what I would do.
No, there was a 1 mile stretch where I was just like, like it was just, there was a lot of vegetation, and I kind of got back on. It was like when you get stoned, you kind of get like paranoid for a second there. I was kind of like back on that because I was on the way back. Cause okay, well, I didn't see a snake the whole way. I was like, don't you get too comfortable, Jordan. You very well could see another
What if you
one.
got in your car after finishing this 12-mile hike and there was just snakes
There's
infested
just a
in your
snake
car?
in my car,
Yeah.
my locked vehicle.
I've seen it before.
Have you?
No, but one time my brother got a pet lizard, and in the car, he dropped it, and it ran up into the engine block.
And died?
No, I think they got it out. That was the lizard that was at our high school for a while.
Do they have to disassemble the entire engine block?
I think they just kind of opened the hood, and they're like, oh, it's sitting right
there
there.
he is.
Yeah.
Well, but yeah, there was a stretch there where I was pretty paranoid, and then I kind of got into some more open field. So I guess this was just a big, long explanation to say, fuck you, Dave. When you post a review that says, be mindful of rattlers, been here twice and both times nearly stepped on one, maybe add some more information for the sake of humanity. Yes, Matt.
What did he rate this?
4 out of 5 stars.
So
Hiking,
he almost
easy
died.
to park, not crowded, dog friendly.
So he almost died twice and gave it 4 out of 5 stars.
Okay, but
And well, dog friendly really brings that back.
I think if he posts something like this, like been here twice in late June, in early July, in August, like add when. It was like 4 miles in, I saw the rattler. Also, David, I would appreciate it if you added in your fucking review, I am also a huge moron who almost stepped on a rattlesnake, not once, but twice. And now I'm making Jordan all paranoid for his 4.5 hour, 12.21 mile hike. Did he enjoy any of it? No, because he was afraid of stepping on a rattlesnake the whole time.
What movie do you think he downloaded that he was so intently watching that he almost stepped on a rattlesnake?
Probably Cars 2, like a douche.
He got through Cars 1. He was so excited about Cars 2 that he just stepped on a rattlesnake, and that's how he died.
But yeah, no, I had a really great hike, and then I went to go see Donkey in Dickinson. Brett
From Shrek?
No, his name is Donkey Brains.
Uh,
Nickname.
Brett. He lives in Dickinson?
Yeah, he's back in Dickinson. So I texted him. I said, hey, I'm going to be in your area. Let's hang out. And it was so funny. He's like, perfect. I need a ride to my car.
Actually, if I'm going to say 6 out of 7 days a week, he needs a ride to his car. It's just one of those things.
But I mean, I was like so hungry after this because all I had was in the morning I had a coffee and a protein bar, and then during my hike I had just a small sandwich, an apple, and an energy drink, and a ton of water. And so I was like, okay, I'm very hungry. Like, let's definitely go eat somewhere. And so I pick him up, and we're watching the T-Wolves Lakers game, which was a good one. And so we decided to go to the brewery, right? And Dickinson couldn't have been more Dickinson in this moment. I'm trying to take a left to go into the brewery. And instead of pedestrians crossing the road, it was 3 women on horseback. And I was like, God. And it's on the main drag.
Am I being punked?
I was like, son of a bitch. You're in Dickinson when you have to watch out for people on horseback. So I don't know. I'm like waiting for them to go. So I'm like, hey, I don't want to like run over a horse or run into a horse. So the first 2 got across just fine. But the third one was having a little trouble controlling her horse. And then I did the classic. I had my window down. I'm like, quit horsing around. Loved it. Crushed.
I thought you like honked your horn and freaked the horse out.
And the third person just could not figure out their horse. So I'm like, okay, I'm going. Like, I was being very clear about not wanting to run over a horse. We go into the brewery, come back out to the patio, and this poor girl has to have somebody like grab her horse by the horse leash, as they call it, and guide the horse down the road. And I'm like, why are we riding horses down?
That'd have been funny. The first vehicle horse death since 1915, as well as the first death of a person by rattlesnake in the same weekend.
I don't know, man. It's just, I think I was so paranoid because obviously I was alone. This was like unmarked territory for me. And just from my research and what I've heard and what we know as a society, a rattlesnake bite is like one of the worst fucking things that can happen. Extreme pain and extreme swelling. In the movie Holes, the opening scene, homeboy leaves Camp Green Lake by getting bit by a rattlesnake. Nothing to fuck with.
I thought he got bit by a yellow spotted lizard.
No, he would have died, Matt.
Okay. Well,
it was a rattlesnake.
You brought
your goddamn Disney movies starring Shia LaBeouf in the mid-2000s, you sack of shit. Sorry, I blew up.
Did you know this, that they're coming out with a remake of Holes?
I'm not interested.
Oh, it gets worse. So they're doing gender casting with it, meaning that they're flipping all the genders. So it's a girls' camp where the warden is a dude. And I think that's like the only chick in there.
Where she's like, I'm tired, Grandpa. That's too damn bad.
Yeah, now it's like, Grandpa, I'm tired. And he just cuts his hand off with a shovel.
Wouldn't it be Grandma, I'm tired?
Yeah. That'd be so funny if they just flipped everything.
Isn't that what the what thing is called?
Yeah, but apparently it's going to suck. It's going to be on
Who's going to play John Voight's character who's addicted to cigarettes but tries to quit and then goes to sunflower seeds?
It is
Melissa McCarthy, probably.
Oh, I would watch that, actually.
Are you sure? Isn't she like the fat, obnoxious one? Are you thinking of Jenny McCarthy?
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking of Jenny McCarthy.
Okay, in that case, that's probably true. Yeah, this is Melissa. Yeah. I can't. What Holes? They're redoing it. They're. What if they like did that with Mean Girls? And they did make a remake of Mean Girls.
I'm assuming isn't that just what? I was like, isn't the remake of Mean Girls just like Varsity Blues?
What do you mean?
Or like Friday Night Lights?
Yeah, no, it's just like another more modern. I haven't watched it. I'm not interested in watching it either. What are you looking up? Holes?
Yeah, the cast of it. Oh, so that chick's playing the main character.
I'm not. Why are we giving this any airtime?
Yeah, I don't know.
whatsoever?
You brought up Holes, and I just remember I saw it
I
today.
just said homeboy in the opening scene. Rattlesnake bite sucks so much that homeboy in the opening scene of Holes was like, I would rather get bit by a goddamn rattlesnake than be at Camp Green Lake. And and that's why I was so paranoid about the rattlesnakes.
Okay.
Matt. But I didn't see one the whole time. Moral of the story. All right, moving on.
So I really like mega churches just because they fascinate me with like how dumb they are. And there's this one that's having at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, which is an arena that is having Nick Sirianni, the Eagles head coach, Brandon Graham, player, Saquon Barkley player, Cooper DeJean player, and then having them speak, and under it says a one-day life-changing event where thousands of local Christians gather to learn why and how to create and multiply financial resources for kingdom impact. That sounds like the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time, because I guarantee this costs like, I'm going to say minimum $300 to get in. They're going to sell 50,000 tickets.
Yes.
And some of the other speakers, John C. Maxwell, famous for trying to bring a handgun on an airplane post 9/11. Kayleigh McEnany, who is the former White House press secretary, who is just really hot and no one could take her seriously. Nick Vujicic, which the only thing I know about him is he has no arms or legs. So
which one is he? Point him out.
On the way left.
Okay.
So his
is
job.
That why it's just a headshot? Okay.
Yeah, his job opportunities were motivational speaker or traffic cone. Like, there's really no in between. Brian Dawkins, another Eagles player, the creator of Auntie Anne's Pretzels. So now I feel like they're just running out of people to get, and then another mega church guy. But I don't know. Just seems like a big money grab. And of course, they go into, I guarantee this is what they did. They went into the Eagles locker room. They're like, who here is a Christian? And they're like, grab you. And then they just grab Cooper DeJean. He's like, I didn't say I was. And they're like, you're a white cornerback. Yeah. You must believe in God because he gave you something that no one else can do.
Yeah, very rare. Well, I think, Matt, you just got to understand that it doesn't matter like what denomination or whatever, because I was in a Catholic church this last weekend. Yeah, I also went to church this last weekend. Look at me. Just shout out to my niece. Congrats on the first Holy Communion. So I was there, and yeah, the church started with I was trying to pray and just get my mind and soul just nice and calmed down and ready for the service. And on comes on a 10-minute video
about how you can donate to the church.
Bingo.
Yep.
And they're like, here's all of our initiatives. Here's how much it costs. And it was just one of those things where they had some guys that we used to go to high school with, unfortunately, were a part of this video. And then, they're, coordinators for these programs, and the bishop and all these people who pretty much just kind of ran around in circles and just made it said different words and saying, here's how you can donate to the church. So it was a 10-minute. I was trying to get ready. I was trying to just focus, calm the mind, the heart, the soul, have a beautiful service. Watch my niece, receive First Communion for the first time. And, really beautiful moment. And we started it off with a 10-minute video on how we can donate to the Catholic Church. I was thinking that our comedy shows, what we need to do is put fucking hand a basket around. Like, I know we have like a tip jar sometimes and like things like that, but it's like you really want to like get
in front of them.
Yeah, you get right. You kind of peer pressure them. They feel bad a little bit. It's like, well, honey, you have $5 on you. It's like, okay. I think we should start handing a basket around our comedy shows.
Not a bad idea. I was thinking other ways the Catholic Church could maybe get more people in is if they had a nacho cheese fountain you could dunk your cracker in.
Yeah, why did they take the wine away? Now that I'm older, I kind of want the wine. When I was younger, I didn't. Now I do, and it's gone. You don't know what you have till it's gone. Similar borrowed bucks.
Do you ever like be super hungover and go to church and you and you take a big gulp of wine and then it makes you feel a little bit better?
Yes, because your body's withdrawing from alcohol. Yeah, and they took it away from us.
I think it was after COVID. Everyone was just like spitting back into it and germs and stuff. Yeah, but so if you want to attend Life Surge Philadelphia with a bunch of Christians, a guy with no arms or legs, some hot blonde chick, the inventor of a pretzel company, and Cooper DeJean, you can go May 31st from 8:30 to 6.
8:30 a.m. to 6
p.m. Yep.
That's a whole day.
Yeah.
That's the whole day right there.
Oh yeah, I love how Saquon Barkley is in there. Love Saquon, but let's not pretend he wasn't just plowing every piece of ass at Penn State.
Yeah, I could say a lot of things about that. Yeah, man, I think you just got to understand that mainly churches in general, doesn't matter, Catholic, Christian, Jewish, whatever it may be. I think they're all just kind of like after money.
Yeah. But I love how it's like not a day of like learning. It's like learn why and how to create multiple financial resources
For kingdom impact.
Yep.
Like not for yourself.
Yeah, a little for yourself, but then
how can you get richer so then therefore you can tithe to the church and therefore they get richer.
Yep.
It is absolutely ridiculous. But thank you so much for sharing. Matt, I know you got some weird uncles out there, some weird aunts. And that's just a little inside joke between us.
You got to watch us on YouTube and you can figure out the inside joke.
But, I think it goes without saying. I'm really excited for the summer ahead. I've already said it like 4 times already. For me, it's just like I'm tired of I know what's ahead. I'm getting impatient. I'm tired of waiting. I have some massive changes coming into my life, and I'm ready for them. So I saw this funny picture, and I suppose I can show you. But it's pretty much this guy. He's like a little bit chubby. He's got like a mullet. He's wearing like a Speedo.
Oh yeah.
And he like did all these different poses with a jet ski. And
I'm still not convinced it's not Lázaro Lopez.
That's who I thought it was. But I thought it was really funny, so I was like, oh, I'll post this to Facebook, and I was like, something like, oh, this is going to be me at the lake all summer, like, come check it out, yada, 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 and whatever. I usually don't post stuff on social media, like, to get the glory of likes or what have you. It's just like, I'm just being me, being funny. If you like it, great. If not, who gives a shit? Just keep scrolling to your fucking Life Surge Mega Church Philadelphia invite. And so it went fine, got a couple likes, got some engagement, got some comments, and it was like, okay, cool. People are asking where the lake is, and had some good convo out of it. And then I go to bed on Friday night and just kind of scrolling, like I've been known to do. And one of my goddamn uncles, it's something about aunts and uncles on social media. They can't help themselves but just to comment, and not only stop at that, but they just got to say the weirdest shit. So I had an uncle who will remain nameless just for anonymity reasons. He comments, and he says, "That does look like your ass."
Oh, God.
And I'm like, what the fuck? For the record, I've never been molested or sexually abused in my life. Okay, I just want to throw that out there. And I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh gosh, we'll just cover this up and like pretend like nothing happened. Nothing to cover up, by the way. Like I said a moment ago, I've never been molested or sexually abused. And it's funny, Matt and I were raised Catholic too. And,
so you'd think that we would have been.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was getting at.
No,
Yes.
It was pretty mutual between me and the priest that did it.
I was jerking him off. He was jerking me off.
He's my soccer coach, so every season starts at Dick's Sporting Goods, and every season started with his dick in my. Never mind.
But he comments, "That does look like your ass," and I'm just like,
nope.
What the fuck? And so I had a choice to make. I was like, well, I guess I could
just delete Facebook altogether.
I was like, well, I guess I could just delete his comment. But yeah, I ended up just deleting the whole post altogether. Because I was just like, what the fuck? Like, who says that? Like, that does look like your ass. A man to another man. It wasn't even me, mind you. This wasn't even me in the pictures. It was just some random guy.
Man to another man. If I would have commented on that, fine. Weird, but fine. If your cousin does it, still okay, but an uncle is where I draw the line.
Yeah, I mean, you got the same last name. Yeah. People are gonna see that, because like now it's engagement on that post. It's gonna like kind of come back around to people's timelines. I was like, you know what? I thought this was a really funny post. It was wholesome. People got a good kick out of it, and it was quickly ruined. So, to all the aunts and uncles out there, it's like It's like they cannot hold back. It's like that picture of that kid who looks like he's about to explode, and he just wants to get something out so bad. That's aunts and uncles when you post something. They just have to hit the old keyboard and get something out there.
It's like me every time I get into an Uber and I'm just like, don't say it.
Yeah, don't say it. Don't say it.
So, how long you been driving for Uber?
You can't help yourself.
Every time.
Yeah, it was like me when I had said to those girls, quit horsing around when they were on the horse the other day.
We should bring back like puns like that.
Matt, I walk into your office all the time and say, working hard or hardly working.
And then I say, get the fuck out of my office.
I say, okay, just print these few things out for me and I'll be on my way.
Okay, we've been going long enough. But,
yeah, we can move on. That's all I have to say.
We can run through these last couple ones. Mainly just headlines that I want to go through. Bill Belichick and his...
Is this it?
Yeah. So Bill Belichick's girlfriend, they were on a CBS interview. It was Bill Belichick being interviewed. And he's wearing this old Navy sweatshirt.
Yeah, it had a hole in it.
Yeah, and some guy commented, like, your sweatshirt's older than your girlfriend.
Probably true.
Yeah, it was. But she was born in 2001.
That's hot.
Yeah. She is pretty hot. She's like 24, so Bill rents cars for her. And they were like talking, and so the guy's talking and she's just sitting there, and he goes, so how'd you guys meet? And she just off camera goes, we're not talking about that.
Okay.
Weird. But then got me thinking, and I looked
No,
up.
I don't think that's weird because when was CBS you said?
Yeah.
So when you're conducting an interview with a celebrity or a political figure or anybody of status, and then I've thought about this a lot, like podcasting and listening to other podcasts. I'm always like, gosh, what questions? There's got to be like a team of people who are like, okay, so-and-so will come on your show, but here's like 5 bullet points, which we are not talking about. So I don't think that's that weird.
She's acting more of like his assistant or like a nurse than a girlfriend.
Yeah, Matt. She's got him by the balls right now.
Well, it's like, and she's like an assistant coach on UNC's staff.
Well, she's just probably plowing recruits to make sure they sign the NIL deal.
Yeah. Which leads me to believe of this hot crazy scale I found.
Okay, so across the which axis is it? The bottom, the vertical,
the x-axis.
X-axis is the hot axis. The y-axis, this is vertical. Excuse me. Vertical is the crazy axis.
So basically,
Axis.
you need to be a 5 or hotter, and then you get into, and if you're a 5 or less on the crazy scale, you're in the fun zone.
Okay, yeah. I see. Okay, I see now. So the crazier, hotter, we have like the crazy zone, which is like a 10 of crazy and like a 5 to 10 of hot.
So if you're an 8, 9, or 10 and a 1 on the crazy scale, you're considered a unicorn. Doesn't happen.
I see that where they're just very attractive, not that crazy. Yep. And I would say there's probably a baseline of 1 on the craziness. I've met a lot of women over the years, met a lot of different people. No matter what, of how wonderful you think they are or whatever, at the end of the day, everybody's got their flaws. And you find out, you get to know them more, you find out some certain things. There's usually things that are pretty fucked up.
So then you go 2 to 5 on the crazy scale. If you're between an 8 and a 10 on the hot scale, you marry that person.
What are these letters, Matt?
I don't know. I think that was just...
Yeah, I was looking at those and I didn't understand them. But yes, if you're an 8er hotter and a 2 to 5 crazy marriage, I would agree with that. And honestly, the older I get and trying to find a partner out there, it's like I kind of want just a little bit of crazy, just a touch, because that just proves you're human. I think, and then that means you're not really like boring either.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But I'm going to say Bill Belichick's girlfriend is about a 9 on the crazy scale and about a 9 on the look scale.
Okay, what's his girlfriend's age is
24.
Okay, here. There's a 48-year age gap. I capped myself at 20, but since I'm young, it's got to go like, I can't be dating 11-year-olds, but, maybe into the lower 50s is probably where I would.
Someone should have told
probably,
Chris D'Elia that.
Yeah, I would go, so I'm 31, I would say she's got to be at least 21. Get into a fucking bar for the love of God. Buy your own booze. Like if I'm buying you booze, that's where I'm going to draw the line.
That's also seems like this relationship has some strings attached. Because what if you say I'm not buying you booze anymore, and she starts?
Yeah. So I would say I would probably be like 21 to like 51. I would be okay with that.
Mine is born after 9/11.
Yeah. Wait. They can't be born after 9/11?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, well, they have to be born after now. I was like, Matt, you have like a 3-year gap there of legality. All right. So Bill Belichick and his girlfriend, her name's Jordan. Fuck.
She spells it
Jordan.
She spells it like Gordon, but with a J.
Yeah.
Maybe her name's Gordon Hudson.
Name's Gordon.
Gordon Hudson. Dating Bill Belichick.
48-year age gap.
Apparently it's not that weird because her ex-boyfriend from like 2 years ago when she was 22 was 60.
Okay, so I'm just trying to get a little context here. So Bill Belichick is 73 years of age, and you minus the 48, so she is 24, 25, somewhere in there.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so let's go back to the scale here, the crazy hot scale. So I would, just for that sake, she is, I don't really know what I've seen
she's
pictures.
Flirting with a 9 or a 10 on the crazy scale.
And I was going to say probably like an 8 or a 9 on the hot scale. Yeah, so that puts her in the crazy zone.
Yep.
I like this one, though. It's interesting because the date zone is an 8 to 10 on the hot scale, but a 5 to kind of like 8, 9, 10-ish on the crazy scale. So it's like, okay, well, she's hot, but she's crazy, but I'll still date her because she's hot.
You could
Is that
also,
what I'm understanding
if
here?
if she's a 10, but she's a 5 crazy, you marry her. But if she's...
No, that's where it cuts off, Matt. That would be into the date zone.
Okay.
So she's got to be less crazy to marry her.
But then if you're also a 5 and a 5 on the crazy scale, you're borderline crazy, no-go, or fun zone.
I'd say my dating scale is probably like right here.
Yeah.
Completely off the scale because it is non-existent. Yeah. You know how tough it is to try to pursue women when you know that you're just
I gave up.
going to move across the country in like 4 months. It's just like...
Some girl called me babe the other day, and I told her to
was it?
Leave me alone.
Who was it? Yeah, I would probably leave that alone too.
I said, leave me alone.
She called you babe, huh?
Yeah. It's fucking weird.
What was the context? Was it justified?
No, it was just weird. So I said, leave me alone.
Yeah, sometimes a babe can be like kind of like an attractive thing, but in a weird context, no.
Yeah. All right.
So I would agree that Bill Belichick's girlfriend is definitely in the crazy zone. But I do like this.
Yeah.
This graph that you found, the crazy axis 1
then,
to 10, hot axis 1 to 10.
And then
axis.
What you do in the that line, that crazy zone line, how it goes all the way, they call that the diagonal.
Oh, right here?
Yeah, so that's usually like the dating line that you go. So like that would be...
But if you're a 1 to 5 in hotness, no matter amount of crazy, it's no-go zone.
Yeah, see, I don't like that. I like to have a little more like she's a 3, but she's not fucking crazy.
I still, no, man. I think I like this no-go zone.
Okay, well, I'm not as superficial as you.
Okay. I'm as authentic as they get, bitch. I can't.
Except
say
for when
my
it
words.
comes to snakes.
When it comes to rattlesnakes, that's where I draw the line.
Yeah, if your name's Dave, then no.
Yeah, I'm gonna find Dave. I'm gonna kick the shit out of Dave. Are we moving on?
Yeah.
Okay, we can kind of just fire through these.
Yep.
LeBron James got caught flopping. It was the video all over the internet where LeBron James, goes to the floor. He's got his eyes covered up, and whoever the camera guy was deserves a raise for sure.
They just zoomed in on it.
Yeah, they were zoomed in on him, and LeBron James, for those of you who didn't see it, he's like, oh, I'm hurt, and then does like a peek to like see like what's going on, and then like goes back to it. Thoughts on that?
I hate LeBron.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I've really never been a LeBron fan, and it just the fact that he got caught flopping, like, I think if anybody's having this, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James debate, I think the video evidence alone of that
Is LeBron the best player ever? Yes. Is he the most fun to watch and competitive? No. I like Kobe Bryant when he's going to put up 75 shots, maybe make 20 of them.
Yeah.
And then call his teammate a bunch of hookers. And
That's awesome. Yeah. I love that. But LeBron's just a huge sack of shit, gigantic pussy. I guess I just wanted to bring that to our attention since we are going a little bit long here. But that's okay. Hey, our loyal listeners deserve that. The NFL draft happened this last weekend. I watched the entire first round of perhaps the most boring draft in modern day.
They said it was like the worst draft since like 2013, I think, which was like a historically bad one.
Last year was great. There was like 5 quarterbacks, 6 quarterbacks taken in like the first 12 picks, which is like awesome, exciting.
Basically, it's the Travis Hunter show.
I still don't think he's that good.
Oh, no.
I don't care about Shedeur Sanders. I was surprised that like
he fell
I was texting you the whole time. I'm like, holy shit, like he's really dropping here.
That was the first thing you texted me at like 10:45 at night on one of the nights, and I was obliterated. And then I woke up the next morning, like one eye in my phone. You're like, Shedeur's dropping. I was like, I'll show you dropping.
I'll show you dropping.
But here, Hard Knocks idea. The Cleveland.
Okay, real quick. I don't care about Shedeur. They kept on showing. Here's Shedeur Sanders' draft reaction to going to the Browns. Why don't we show somebody else's draft reaction? He went 144th overall. Why do we have to keep on going back to the Shedeur, Dion, fucking Shiloh's an undrafted free agent? I don't know. I don't get it. Modern media sucks. Hard Knocks idea.
Okay, Hard Knocks idea. They do Hard Knocks, but it's just the Cleveland Browns QB room. How electric would this be? You have Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, and it's just them. And then like going to see who gets cut. And so like Joe Flacco probably drunk the whole time. Kenny Pickett's like the guy that's pleading with all of them. Can we just get along? Deshaun Watson continues to jerk off in the corner. Dylan Gabriel's left-handed, so no one knows how to deal with him.
He's left-handed.
Yep. And Shedeur Sanders like insists on being in another room by himself and have his own private bathroom. That the Browns just give him a porta potty because they're the Browns.
Yeah. I think that would be a fantastic idea. The other one I would throw out there is the Giants. They got Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. Then they went with Jackson Dart. They moved back into the first round to take Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss. And then they got Tommy DeVito. And it was so funny when they did that. Like just a few minutes after, I looked at the Giants depth chart on CBS Sports app. And they had Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. They didn't add Jackson Dart yet, but Tommy DeVito had a number 4 next to his name. So I was like, they already moved the poor guy down to 4 on the depth chart, which is.
I think that would be a cooler Hard Knocks if they, instead of choosing one team and focusing on like a defensive tackle who's not going to make the team, just do like 3 teams, just their quarterback rooms.
Yeah, I think that would be great. And it is funny how some of these teams do just have like, not stacked quarterback rooms, but like
interesting,
plentiful would be a word to use. And then I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan. We got J.J. McCarthy. We traded for Sam Howell for a draft pick, which is interesting. I guess I don't love it. I don't hate it. And Brett Ripien. So you go from like these Cleveland Browns, the Giants, like we just mentioned, to something like that. Or the Panthers, what do you have? Bryce Young.
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton still there?
Yeah, that's it.
I guess, honestly, I'd rather have that because at least, you have a veteran guy.
Well, basically, the Panthers would be like Bryce Young, Andy Dalton, who are like friends, would be sitting in there like, hey, we brought in this third guy. And they'd be like, get out of here. And like, so we're down to 2 again. I don't know what happened.
Back down to 2. But we can save this other one for the next show. And I guess that's our episode for today. We went pretty long, so hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening. Matt, how can the No Brains, No Headache listeners get more involved?
You can follow us on all social media platforms. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. I'm going to get more involved on them. I took a little bit of a break for the last about week from posting.
Well, you were in Chicago just getting blitzkrieg bopped out of your mind.
I just wanted to get that little factory reset. I saw numbies were kind of down on some, so want to get a little factory reset on that, and then I'm going to jump right into it. So keep an eye on that, and then subscribe on YouTube, follow, leave us a review, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast.
Perfect. Yeah, make sure you follow us on social media. Check us out on YouTube. Thank you to anybody who's watching on YouTube. That seems to be the way to go. So make sure you're supporting us by following us. That helps us a lot, and then you can stay up to date. Our upcoming shows/schedule is Wednesday, May 14th. Matt and I will be presenting at 1 Million Cups networking event. It's at Dakota Stage Theater at 8:30 a.m. We're going to try to get a lot of people there. Free coffee. We're going to bring some donuts as well. And we're going to have a really good, non-boring, interesting presentation just to let you know kind of what we've been up to and where we plan to go in the future. And then later that week, Saturday, May 17th, 5-year anniversary party. That's at Stadium Sports Bar at 4 p.m. Once again, Saturday, May 17th. Be there. We're going to be giving away T-shirts, stickers. Matt's going to be giving away life advice. We will buy you 1 free beer on us. All right, that's our thank you to you. We're going to rack up a tab and take care of it. That's on the house for us. We do have a couple of summer shows planned, so we will get you details on that. Friday, July 11th, I will be at the Drop Zone in Minot. And then Saturday, September 13th, No Brains, No Headache is taking over the Bell Mayhews Auditorium. Again, details coming out on that. So, plenty of dates coming up, but we're definitely just going to enjoy the time, the summer coming up. We do plan to have a couple of episodes up at the Lake Cabin. Really looking forward to that. And yeah, we'll be here weekly, so make sure you're tuning in every week. And up next, we have episode 247. Thank you so much for listening.
You're watching Channel 4 News with 5-time Emmy Award-winning anchor Ron Burgundy and Tits McGee.
Good evening, San Diego. I'm Veronica Corningstone, Tits McGee.